None among us can escape the inevitable dance with death, but within the compilation of today's heroes, a symphony of survival unfolds. In the face of extraordinary dangers, these individuals stood against the abyss, staring into the depths of impossibility. Through their harrowing tales, a narrative unfolds, one of defiance, courage, and an unwavering will to live. 1. Survivor Tom Fitzpatrick. In the throes of World War II, amidst the roar of engines and the thunder of gunfire, Tom Fitzpatrick found himself in a situation that defied the very laws of survival. It was a fateful day in 1943 when Fitzpatrick, a young airman serving in a B-26 bomber, soared through the war-torn skies. Little did he know that this mission would etch his name into the annals of history in a most extraordinary way. As their aircraft became a target for enemy fire, chaos erupted in the cockpit. The deafening symphony of destruction enveloped Fitzpatrick as the B-26 bomber began to disintegrate at an altitude of 17,000 feet. With no time to reach for a parachute, Fitzpatrick faced a stark reality, a free fall into the abyss below. How did Tom Fitzpatrick manage to survive a 17,000-foot fall without a parachute? Fitzpatrick's incredible survival wasn't just a stroke of luck. He executed a maneuver known as the lucky step-off, a technique that involves timing the exit from a damaged aircraft just as it begins to break apart. This split-second decision likely contributed to his ability to weather the fall and cheat death. Fitzpatrick's survival turned him into a symbol of hope and inspiration for his fellow soldiers. His expertise and experience were valued, and he continued to contribute to the war effort. The specifics of his post-accident life might not be extensively documented, as many wartime activities were often kept confidential or not widely publicized. Have you ever thought about the impact of a fall from 33,000 feet? Let's explore the next story. 2. Survivor Vesna Vulovic, the unbelievable fall. In the chilling winter of 1972, Vesna Vulovic, a Yugoslav flight attendant, found herself at the center of an aviation anomaly that would defy comprehension. On January 26, aboard Jet Flight 367, tragedy struck at 33,000 feet when an explosion tore through the DC-9 aircraft. In the aftermath of the blast, the plane fragmented, hurtling Vesna into the frigid skies above Czechoslovakia. Miraculously, Vesna Vulovic not only survived the 33,000-foot plunge without a parachute, but she also clung to life despite sustaining severe injuries. The question that echoed across the globe was one of incredulity. How could someone endure such a catastrophic fall? Vesna Vulovic survived the fall by sheer luck and circumstance. The explosion likely propelled her into a section of the plane that provided just enough cushioning to break her fall, and her injuries, though severe, were not fatal. 3. Aaron Rolston, a desperate choice for freedom. In the rugged canyons of Utah, Aaron Rolston's tale of survival echoes as an extraordinary testament to the lengths one will go to reclaim freedom. It was May 2003 when Rolston, an avid outdoorsman, embarked on a solo, canyoneering adventure. Little did he anticipate that a seemingly routine exploration would culminate in a life-altering ordeal. While navigating Blue John Canyon, Rolston's arm became pinned by a dislodged boulder, trapping him in isolation for 6 agonizing days. The isolated canyon walls echoed with his struggle for survival, but as hope dwindled, Rolston faced an excruciating decision. With limited supplies and no sign of rescue, he chose to amputate his own arm to break free from the unforgiving grip of the stone. Rolston's survival hinged on his ability to fashion makeshift tools, including a dull multi-tool and his own ingenuity. His determination and resourcefulness showcased the extraordinary lengths an individual can go to defy impending doom.
My name's Aaron Rolston. My parents are Donna and Larry Rolston of Englewood, Colorado. Whoever finds this, please make an attempt to get it to them.
The self-amputation proved to be a harrowing but life-saving act. Rolston rappelled down the canyon, encountering a family who summoned help. His story became an inspiration for resilience, adaptation, and the unwavering spirit that propels humans to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. In the face of contrasting challenges, what parallels can we draw between surviving in the isolated canyon and navigating through shark-infested waters? How do these disparate environments test the limits of human endurance, and what universal lessons can be gleaned from these tales of survival? 4. Survivor Brian Robson, Beneath the Pacific Waves. In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, Brian Robson found himself entwined in one of the most harrowing chapters of naval history. It was the 30th of July, 1945, when the USS Indianapolis, a heavy cruiser, was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine, sending it to the ocean floor. Amidst the chaos, Brian Robson, a young sailor, clung to life amidst the wreckage and the frigid waters of the Pacific. As the ship sank, Robson and his fellow survivors faced an even graver threat, the relentless onslaught of shark-infested waters. Robson's ordeal was not just against the elements, it was also a battle against hunger, dehydration, and the ever-present menace of sharks. The USS Indianapolis disaster remains one of the deadliest shark attacks in history. For days, Robson and his shipmates floated amidst the debris, enduring exposure, exhaustion, and the constant terror of shark attacks. Of the approximately 900 crew members who went into the water after the ship sank, it's estimated that around 150 to 300 sailors succumbed to shark attacks. Their rescue finally came, but the sinking of the USS Indianapolis became a tragic episode, emphasizing the toll of war even after the guns fell silent. 5. Antarctic Odyssey, Douglas Mawson. In the unforgiving expanse of Antarctica, Douglas Mawson's saga unfolded as a solitary testament to human endurance. Tasked with scientific exploration, Mawson faced unimaginable challenges that would test the limits of his survival instincts. During the Australasian Antarctic expedition of 1911 till 1914, tragedy struck when Mawson's two companions, Belgrave Ninnis and Xavier Mertz, perished in separate incidents. Alone and facing the harshest conditions on Earth, Mawson embarked on a grueling solo trek. Mawson's journey was marked by extreme weather, crevasse falls, and a relentless battle against hunger and frostbite. At one point, he fell into a crevasse, narrowly escaping certain death. His tenacity and resourcefulness became the linchpin of his survival. After months of enduring blizzards, isolation, and the constant threat of starvation, Mawson miraculously made it back to his base camp. His harrowing experience not only advanced scientific knowledge of Antarctica, but also left an indelible mark on the annals of polar exploration. Curious about survival in the world's most challenging terrains? Join us as we transition from the icy expanse of Antarctica to the scorching Sahara, unraveling Mauro Prosperi's incredible tale of endurance in the Marathon des Sables, where he faced the daunting Sahara Desert for 10 days. 6. Desert Mirage, Mauro Prosperi's Marathon of Survival. What started as a challenging ultramarathon unfolded into a 10-day odyssey that would test the limits of human endurance. Prosperi, an experienced marathon runner, found himself disoriented and lost in the endless dunes of the Sahara during the 1994 Marathon des Sables. The Marathon des Sables, often dubbed the toughest foot race on Earth, is an ultramarathon held annually in the Sahara Desert. The race typically covers a distance of approximately 156 miles over the course of 6 stages. A sandstorm struck the race in 1994, reducing visibility and making it challenging for participants to navigate. Prosperi lost sight of the course markers in the midst of the storm. The scorching temperatures and the relentless terrain presented a formidable challenge, leading him astray from the race route. To survive, Prosperi rationed his supplies, drank his own urine, and even resorted to eating bats and snakes. His ingenuity and determination became crucial in navigating the harsh desert environment. After enduring 10 grueling days in the Sahara, Prosperi was rescued by a nomadic family. His survival in the face of extreme conditions made headlines worldwide, turning his unintended desert marathon into a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. 7. Survivor Julianka, a rainforest odyssey of survival. It was Christmas Eve in 1971 when Julianne, a teenage German student, found herself thrust into the unforgiving wilderness after the plane she was aboard was struck by lightning. Amidst the chaos, the plane disintegrated, scattering passengers into the vast expanse of the rainforest. Miraculously, Julianne emerged as the sole survivor, battered and bruised but alive. With incredible resilience, she embarked on an 11-day trek through the dense Amazon jungle, overcoming injuries, hunger, and the ever-present threat of predators. Julianne's survival instincts were honed by her father, a renowned ornithologist who had taught her valuable skills for navigating the jungle. This knowledge proved crucial in identifying edible plants and avoiding hazards during her arduous journey. Julianne's odyssey ended when she stumbled upon a logging camp, leading to her rescue. Her tale of survival not only captivated the world, but also provided unique insights into the tenacity of the human spirit when faced with the formidable challenges of the natural world. From the heart of the Amazon rainforest, where Julianne Kupska miraculously survived a plane crash, we journey to the boundless South Atlantic, where Poon Lim's solitary struggle unfolded. Two survivors, two vastly different landscapes. How did their stories intersect on the spectrum of human endurance, and what lessons can we glean from their disparate yet equally astonishing tales of survival? 8. Poon Lim's 133 Days Alone at Sea. In the midst of World War II's tumult, Poon Lim's tale emerged as a beacon of survival in the vast expanse of the South Atlantic Ocean. Cast adrift after his ship fell victim to enemy action, Poon Lim faced the ultimate test of resilience, enduring a staggering 133 days alone at sea. Stranded in the open ocean, Poon Lim's ordeal began when his ship, the British merchant ship SS Benlamond, was torpedoed by a German U-boat in 1942. He found himself alone on a small life raft, surrounded by nothing but endless waves and the infinite horizon. Poon Lim's resourcefulness played a pivotal role in his survival. Armed with a meager ration of food and water, he fashioned makeshift fishing gear from the remnants of the life raft, catching fish and birds to sustain himself during the long and lonely days at sea. Poon Lim also used a device known as a solar still to extract fresh water from the seawater. This makeshift desalination method helped him stay hydrated during the long days at sea. After an astonishing 133 days of drifting, Poon Lim was rescued by Brazilian fishermen off the coast of South America. 9. Beneath the Depths. Survivor Harrison O'Keefe. In the inky blackness of the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Nigeria, Harrison O'Keefe found himself in a perilous dance with the abyss. The tugboat, Jaskin 4, battered by unforgiving waves, succumbed to the tempestuous sea, trapping O'Keefe in a watery grave. Little did he know that the next 72 hours would be a testament to human endurance. As the vessel sank, O'Keefe fought against the pull of the ocean, desperately seeking refuge within the shrinking air pocket. In the absolute darkness, he clung to the last vestiges of hope, rationing his breaths and conserving energy. Amidst the wreckage, he stumbled upon a can of Coca-Cola, a meager sustenance that would become his lifeline. For 3 excruciating days, O'Keefe's world shrank to the size of the air pocket. The cold seeped into his bones, and the haunting sounds of the ocean above echoed through the sunken tomb. In those moments of isolation, O'Kane's resilience outshone the oppressive weight of the water surrounding him. The miraculous rescue came when a team of divers sent to recover the deceased crew stumbled upon the improbable, a living man gasping for air in the shadowy depths. O'Kane emerged, not only from the sunken Jaskin 4, but also from the clutches of an abyss that sought to claim him. His survival against insurmountable odds serves as a beacon of hope and a testament to the unyielding strength that resides within the human spirit, even when confronted by the darkest depths of the sea. 10. Hostage in the Horn of Africa. Jessica Buchanan and Paul Thisted were held captive in Somalia by armed kidnappers while they were working on a demining project. The incident occurred in October 2011 when the 2 aid workers were abducted from their compound in Galkayo, a town in central Somalia. The motives behind their captivity were likely criminal in nature, as kidnappings for ransom were, and still are, unfortunately common in certain regions, including Somalia. Criminal groups such as pirates and armed militias often target foreigners, including aid workers, as they perceive them to be valuable targets for extortion and ransom demands. The captors sought financial gain by holding Jessica Buchanan and Pool Thisted hostage, demanding a ransom for their release. The hostages endured a challenging and dangerous period of captivity until a successful rescue operation by U.S. Navy SEALs in January 2012 freed them from their captors. Join us as we transition from the daring rescue of Jessica Buchanan and Pool Thisted to the epic survival tale of Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa. 11. Alive in the Andes, Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa. Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 crashed in the Andes Mountains on October 13, 1972, due to a combination of adverse weather conditions and navigational errors. The aircraft, carrying 45 passengers and crew, was en route from Montevideo, Uruguay, to Santiago, Chile. Out of the 45 passengers and crew on board, a total of 16 people survived the initial impact. Stranded at an altitude of over 12,000 feet, the survivors faced sub-zero temperatures, high-altitude sickness, and the specter of starvation. Determined to defy the odds, Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa embarked on a treacherous trek through the snow-covered mountains, seeking help for their fellow survivors. Facing dire circumstances, Parrado and Canessa resorted to cannibalism to stay alive. After 10 excruciating days, Parrado and Canessa encountered a Chilean shepherd who led them to safety and ultimately facilitated the rescue of the remaining survivors. Their extraordinary journey not only showcased resilience in the face of adversity, but also stirred ethical debates about survival instincts. 12. The real Robinson Crusoe. In 1704, Alexander Selkirk was marooned on a deserted island in the Pacific Ocean. His dissatisfaction with life on a privateer ship influenced the events that led to his seclusion. Selkirk voiced doubts about the ship's seaworthiness because he believed it to be unseaworthy. Selkirk chose to act alone after the ship's captain, Thomas Stradling, declined to address these issues. Selkirk made the desperate and determined decision to be abandoned on the deserted island of Masa Tierra, off the coast of Chile, today known as Robinson Crusoe Island. He felt that surviving on the island by himself would be more likely than facing the dangers of a sinking ship. Over the course of his more than 4-year stay on the island, Selkirk showed extraordinary inventiveness. He developed self-sufficiency skills by hunting and domesticating wild goats, making clothes from their hides, and building improvised shelters to keep safe. His fortitude in the face of isolation and the difficulties of surviving on a distant island created an engrossing tale of human perseverance. After reading Selkirk's narrative, author Daniel Defoe was inspired to write Robinson Crusoe, which was published in 1719. The book, which was a fictionalized version of Selkirk's experience, went on to become a literary classic and immortalized the story of the ingenuity and lonely life of a castaway. 13. Wreck of the whale ship Essex survivors. In the vast expanses of the Pacific Ocean, the crew of the whale ship Essex faced a calamity that would echo through the pages of literary history. The sinking of their ship by a vengeful sperm whale not only tested the limits of human survival, but also inspired Herman Melville's literary masterpiece, Moby Dick. In 1820, the Essex set sail on a whaling expedition, hoping to harvest the riches of the ocean. Little did the crew know that their fate would be forever altered by a massive sperm whale. In an astonishing turn of events, the enraged whale rammed and sank the Essex, leaving the crew stranded in the vast and unforgiving Pacific. The crew's harrowing experience served as the inspiration for Herman Melville's iconic novel Moby Dick, a literary exploration of obsession, revenge, and the awe-inspiring power of nature. The survivors' real-life struggle became the foundation for one of the greatest tales ever written. After the sinking of the Essex, the crew faced a perilous journey in open boats, battling hunger, dehydration, and the constant threat of nature's fury. The few who survived the ordeal did so by resorting to desperate measures, including cannibalism. 14. Floating in the ocean. Survivor Tammy Oldham. In 1983, Tammy Oldham Ashcraft and her fiancé, Richard Sharp, embarked on a sailing journey from Tahiti to San Diego aboard their yacht, the Hazana. En route, they encountered Hurricane Raymond, a powerful and destructive storm in the Pacific Ocean. The hurricane wreaked havoc on their yacht, causing extensive damage. In the midst of the chaos, Richard Sharp was swept overboard and lost at sea. Tammy, left alone on the damaged and drifting yacht, faced the daunting challenge of survival in the aftermath of the storm. Despite the dire circumstances, Tammy exhibited remarkable resourcefulness and resilience. She navigated the damaged yacht, improvised makeshift sails, and rationed the limited supplies available. Alone and adrift at sea, she endured 40 41 days of isolation, battling storms, loneliness, and the constant threat of despair. Tammy's incredible journey came to an end when she was eventually rescued by a passing freighter. Her survival story became widely known, not only as a testament to human endurance and the will to survive against overwhelming odds, but also as an inspiration for others facing their own challenges at sea or in life. Leaving behind the vastness of the Pacific, where Tammy Oldham Ashcraft drifted for 41 days, our narrative sails into the turbulent Indian Ocean. As we approach the final chapter, the sole survivor, Bahia Bakari, clings to wreckage for over 13 hours. What untold stories of courage and survival lie beneath those tumultuous waves, and what insights can we gain from the indomitable spirit that carried her through those critical moments? 15. Bahia Bakari, triumph over the turbulent waters. On June 30th, 2009, the Indian Ocean bore witness to a tale of resilience when Yemenia Flight 626 plunged into its waters. Amidst the wreckage, a lone survivor emerged, defying the odds in a story that would capture the world's attention. Bahia Bakari, a young girl born the 15th of August 1996, found herself clinging to life amidst the debris of the ill-fated flight. As the Airbus A310 crashed into the ocean near the Comoros Islands, Bahia remarkably became the sole survivor. For over 13 harrowing hours, she clung to a piece of wreckage, battling exhaustion and the relentless pull of the ocean. Bahia Bakari's survival was extraordinary, not only due to the crash's severity, but also because she could not swim. Her endurance amidst the open sea showcased an indomitable will to live against overwhelming odds. Rescuers eventually found her battered but alive, floating in the vastness of the Indian Ocean. Her story of triumph over tragedy echoed as a testament to human strength, especially in the face of one of aviation's most unforgiving environments. What do you think was the most intriguing survival story? We welcome your opinions in the comments below.